every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts, we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall, in the rainbow's embrace, we'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love, woven at the seams. With every hue our voice is strong, together is one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above, in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing, a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore.
Welcome to the Universal Rainbow Faith Church in Las Vegas, Nevada, here at the historic Commercial Center District. My name is Paula Sadler, and I am the founding minister and president at URF, and I welcome you all. Welcome on YouTube, welcome on Facebook, and welcome on TikTok. And welcome to all of those who will be tuning in later and viewing this broadcast. I'm so grateful to be here with you tonight, and so grateful for you tuning in for this weekly message. And so today is Sunday, August 24th, 2025, and our theme this week is the power of the LGBTQ plus community and our allies. And our new song released this week will be in the Living Love, and that is on our Sacred Music playlist. It was released on TikTok and also on YouTube. So we're so grateful. We hope you have a chance to listen to that. We're going to hear that later on as well. So welcome, beloveds, to the Universal Rainbow Faith, and tonight we open our hearts to a truth both sobering and liberating. In a world that often consumes people, their energy, identity, and spirit, we gather tonight as a community that feeds, uplifts, and restores. So let's just take a few moments and center ourselves with a centering breath, and take an inhale and repeat the words to yourself, I am sacred. And exhale, we are sacred. And take another deep breath in, feeling your sacredness from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And as you exhale, feeling that sacredness in all others in our community and allies and throughout the world. And know that together we remember our power. And let us start with an affirmation. And I'm going to start, and then you're going to say, we are a living light of love. So I am a living light of love. And we are a living light of love. I do not consume others to ease my pain. And everyone, I awaken, I heal, and I help restore others. Let's do that one more time. I am a living light of love, and together we are a living light of love. I do not consume others to ease my pain, and together I awaken, I heal, and I help others heal. And our prayer, Holy Presence, guide us away from hunger that devours and into circles of care that nourish. Help us to see each other's humanity, to stand brave in love, and to awaken to our shared purpose. And our special reading this week comes from The Nature of Miracles, page 327 and 330 to 333. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Our title is The Living Dead and the Living Love. And if you got a chance to tune in early and see our Facebook post or our YouTube post, you would see that there was a thumbnail image of a zombie. And, in that it talks about this hunger, a hunger that doesn't devour, but yet feeds in our community. And so we're going to focus on that today. So today's, interestingly enough, we're going to talk about zombies, and not the zombies that we see in movies, but the spiritual zombies, and really as a metaphor and an allegory to what we're seeing in the world and what you may be seeing in others around you, in our government, in world government, in leaders, in friends and family that seem to be consumed by something that is so powerful, that is within them, that is causing them to consume and feed on the happiness of others, to feed on peace and hope, and turning it in to something undead and something negative and something terrible, and that is really ravenous. And so before we hear today's message, we open with a powerful reflection from our sacred text, The Nature of Miracles. This passage examines the haunting metaphor of the zombie, not just a figure in pop culture, but as a chilling symbol for spiritual disconnection, societal numbness, and the consumption of consciousness. And that's the most important one. So as you listen, I want you to please consider the question: are we fully awake? Or are we walking through life unaware, consuming or being consumed? But this week's reading is not about horror. It's about healing. It's about how we awaken from unconscious patterns, how we reclaim our power, and how we choose to become agents of light in a world that often feels so dark and devouring. And so this is a reading for the brave souls, you out there who are willing to see clearly with me tonight, to feel deeply, and to live intentionally each and every moment in each and every day as we strive towards that goal. And so a crisis of belief. You may decide that the beliefs you have been following for some time are no longer working, and that you need something new, something profound, something simple to embrace. I hope you find it here in these writings and teachings. And we have the mystery of Jesus. Jesus knew he was one and the same with the Creator and us, and he knew it. So why don't we? He knew he was the Son of God. So why don't we know that we are sons and daughters of God and the great Creator, whatever you call that, your higher power, the great Creator, infinite wisdom, the universe, and that we are all related, that we are all family here in this dimension of time and space, in this place that we call Earth. So was Jesus' life just as it was written about? And how reliable are the writings of his life? How do we know if Jesus was a man or Jesus was a woman? Did he ever have sex? Did he have children? Did anyone see him naked? Was he even real? Just like so many of great spiritual masters and teachers and prophets that we read about and we learn about in so many of our world religions and belief systems. Could it be that Jesus was a woman, and at that time in her life, she had to be as a man to achieve acceptability as a prophet? Was Jesus not made up of the same things we are? Human flesh, organic material? Did his body decompose? Did he really die? And what about his resurrection? How about the zombie Jesus? From death he rose to live again. Or was he the living dead, a zombie? It's like that in the movies. Could it be that he so did not want to die that he went against God's will for him, that he willed himself back to life against his Father's will, his Creator's will? Or possibly did an evil spirit take over his body and parade as him? Could it have been that the devil himself or herself, as we call Lucifer or the fallen angel, are angels real? Are there good angels? Are there bad angels? So we have the drama of free will. Reality exists with our thoughts, or does it exist regardless of what we believe we create our reality to be? Why would a loving God create chaos and pain? God did not create these things. God gave us free will. And so we have created these things of terror and chaos in order to have drama in our lives because we don't know any better yet, because we're out of sync with God's true purpose for all of us. Just like creating a movie, creating a horror movie, like the famous clip from Return of the Living Dead from 1985, which this message came to me about the zombie and the allegory. And there's this one scene with this zombie woman on a gurney, and she's strapped down and she's moving about. There's only like barely half of her body there. And the guy asks her, "Why do you do it? Why do you eat people?" And she says, "Not people, brains." And he says, "But why? Why do you do it? Why do you eat brains?" And she most eloquently says, "To ease the pain of being dead." And if you haven't seen that clip, it's an excellent clip. Definitely a horror movie, a comedy as well. And that really is very poignant, you know. What does it mean to really do that? And you're really kind of consuming others that are living and healthy and bright and out in the world. The brain is our consciousness. And so it's very poignant, I think, to the time that we're living in now as we really look at that. And so that's where that, comes from. And we have to be careful to not be bitten. That's the whole point of the zombie apocalypse, to save yourself from being bitten, from being turned. So this is truly a world lesson right now. There is good and bad, light and dark, opposites of all things. All people have opposite sides and twins, even polarities within the human body, mind and soul, within the Trinity, within the planet. And when one side becomes stronger than the other, there is disharmony. And we look at, what did Jesus do or not do, and what made him so powerful? What did he do in his life to attain the wisdom and ability to manipulate this physical world? Turning water into wine, knowing where to cast the nets to fish, healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, walking on water, and even conquering death. He had a following. Books were written about him. Was he just a fable, fact, or fiction? And how do we really know? Was Jesus the all-powerful Son of God? And how do we know? If you were to ask me to meet Jesus right now, would he come to you? Or if you were to ask to meet Jesus right now, would he come to you? Would you hear him? Would he hear you? Where did he go? Did he live on? Could it be that Jesus was gay or had children or was half man, half woman? Maybe we have the history all wrong. Maybe Jesus was a woman, and when they found out, they crucified her. Maybe the Bible is just a fairy tale, inspiration for people that needed it. Why, for so long, have so many people died for religious beliefs and for sins? And why have we seen religious wars, blood, and killing? Is that what Jesus intended? So we look at spiritual power versus our human fear. And from that, we know that Jesus was an enlightened master who realized his own power and divinity. If others did what Jesus did, and some have come close, what would they be called? They would be called sorcerers, wizards, magicians, witches, maybe the devil himself or herself. Isn't it true? Was this what Jesus was? Did Jesus have a twin brother or sister born at the same time in another part of the world? Who knows? As we look at truth, belief, and holy books and holy teachings, is the Bible fact or fiction? As a truly holy text, but in whose eyes? How much evidence do we need to believe in stories written so long ago, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years, and more, and then revised over time by churches and throughout history, and translated in many languages? Everyone thinks that what they believe is right and that they are better than another, and that they are on the path. Have you ever felt that you are just on the path? I know that I have felt that way at times. So from a Christian point of view, if you believe in Jesus and how much and what do you actually believe about this figure in the Bible? Then we have the apocalypse and the afterlife. For years, my mother would say, the end of the world is coming, that Jesus will return and that he will take his people with him, that sinners will simply go to hell, and that you have to repent to be saved, take him as your Lord and Savior. Which for me, coming from a Christian background, I've done that long ago. I don't know how many times we have to do that or rededicate our lives, but I was baptized Catholic when I was born. We became evangelical born-again Christians in the 1980s. And somewhere in the late 80s and early 90s, I started to have a new experience with spirituality and my own awakening through mysticism, through New Thought, Christianity, through many books and readings, and really developing quite a fascination and appreciation for all world religions and beliefs, and seeing them all together as one, all under the same blanket, if you will, and all leading towards an ultimate spiritual awakening and higher consciousness in whatever path that one is chosen or finds himself in. And so we ask ourselves, but what is hell and what is heaven? I've heard the expressions, it's hell on earth, or we've heard it's heaven on earth even. Can both exist at the same time, and is there enough room? When we look at the planet and the cosmos, and we ask ourselves, what is Earth? And where are we really? And who am I? And who are you? Who are we? Earth is a completely organic, living, breathing, changing ecosystem, a closed system with all we need to survive: food, water, plants, animals, other humans, the sun, air. A virtual paradise in outer space. Yes, we are in outer space right now, if you can fathom that, and that the universe does not revolve around us, but yet we are in it. I used to believe also that the earth was flat, and if you sailed to the end, you would simply fall off, or that we were the center of the universe and the sun rotated around us, but we found much different. And many people have died for those beliefs, for bringing that truth to a time when people could not believe that we rotated around the sun. But yet, Galileo, look what happened to him. So we have the question of belief, my friends. Do you believe everything you are told? Do you believe everything you see or read? And what do you believe? Do you only believe in things that can be explained by science? Do you believe in the physical world because you can see it and you can touch it, you can hear it, you can taste it, and you can smell it? How do you know you right now are real? And how do you know that you are alive by the standards that we say we are alive? How do you know your whole life is not just a dream, or maybe just a computer simulation of a life? So We have our spiritual conversation, which begins. All these answers can and will be answered, not by anyone else, but by you. Through your life experiences, you'll learn what is true and what is false, and you will learn all that you desire to learn. A prayer. Dear God, I desire to know about all these things. Teach me, show me. Dear child, in time all will be revealed. I will show you as I feel you can understand. One lesson at a time, one question at a time. You only need to ask. And so we look at this divine presence and ask it to come into our lives. Could it be that Christ, as we know Jesus to be, is here walking among us? And if so, who is he? If Christ were to return to earth, would you recognize him right here and right now? Would he disguise himself to the world and then reveal his true identity? If he is here now, is he here to record and report to God his findings? If we look closely enough, I think that we will find Christ reappearing in history as different teachers over time. Or maybe this Jesus, this Christ, never left us at all. God never left us. And so the masters, the spiritual masters and teachers, they have never left us, but we have left them. And so we have this dialogue with God. Dear God, I wish to receive answers to my questions. Please answer me so that I may become enlightened. Dear God, who or what are you? Dear child of mine, I am energy. I am light. I am everything that makes up this universe, your earth and planets. I am the force that nourishes this planet and all beings on it. But what else are you? What can you do to prove that you are the highest energy in the universe? You only have to believe that I am and that I am real. Your beliefs are what make up this reality. So you only exist because we believe in you? No, I exist whether you believe in me or not, but you are becoming aware as a planet and as individuals of my existence. And then we have sanity as we look within and our voice within. How do I know I'm not making this up, God? That I'm not crazy? Paula, you are not crazy. You are my child and I love you. Paula, you are having a conversation with your highest self. This is the God self. This self is detached from ego. You are not seeking fame or approval. You will meet with much disapproval when these writings are published, and they will be. But because you seek not fortune or fame, you will be rewarded greatly. I have given you the gift of life, even though you've tried to take it through your own self-abuse. And I am offering to heal your body and restore peace and balance within. Other people have spoken to me just as you have. These same people knew me and talked with me often. Paula, I am your friend. I am always with you. I am the sacred and holy within you. I'm your divine nature. All you ever have to do is listen. I answer all questions in my own way and in my own time. Be silent, be aware, and listen. You are a receiver. Yes, God, I think I have felt this, like the time on the bus when I met Darcy, or the woman who called herself Princess Elijah and told me about her angel story. And who is Elijah? Elijah was one of the greatest prophets of the Old Testament, for he stood for God despite great challenges, condemning sin, calling out false gods, enduring drought, and battling 850 pagan priests. And as we look of the prophets among us, who was Elijah on the bus that day that I met? I've met many people who weren't who they appeared to be, and who some told me who they were. If you visit a psychiatric ward, you'll meet people who say they talk to those from the past or from the future and outside these hospitals. These same people would be considered maybe respected clergy or popes or 750,000 ordained ministers in the US or 37,000 religious orders of priests. But who is to be believed and who is to be followed? As we look at miracles versus madness, I know that at this moment I'm not in a padded room, but many people are placed in institutions for believing in something that is unseen or unprovable. Many have written of miracles and speaking with God or Jesus or other prophets, but when you say you heard the voice of God, many in religion cannot accept that, and many would say it's just not true, depending on who you are. And so as we bring everything together, this reading reminds us that zombie consciousness isn't a fantasy, it's a metaphor for what happens when we forget who we are, when we numb out, when we follow without question, when we abandon truth for comfort or bite others out of our own pain. But the text doesn't leave us in despair, it ends with hope, my friends. A sacred remembering that we are called to this evening, that we are living love, not the living dead, that we are capable of healing, and that we are here to awaken and not devour. So as we move in today's message, let this passage be your mirror, let it awaken your spirit, and let it challenge us all to ask, who are the zombies and who are those who are trying to keep from being bitten? Are we the zombies, or are we miracles in motion at this very moment? And that introduction was from the Nature of Miracles, pages 327 to 333. And now we have our announcements here on Sunday, August 24th, 2025. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok weekly. As we mentioned earlier, this is the power of the LGBTQ plus community. That is our theme this month for August. And as we are looking at awakening from the hunger and community that feeds, not devours. In this week's service, we are invited tonight to awaken from the hunger for power, the hunger for conformity and validation that fuels spiritual emptiness and violence. And tonight we are exploring what it means to become living love in a world of what seems to be spiritual zombies. I call it spiritual amnesia, not knowing who we really are just yet. We do have a new blog post, Awakening from the Hunger. This is a conversation, an interview, and this explores the spiritual message behind today's topic. And it looks at zombies as metaphors for oppression, consciousness and community, global violence and spiritual hunger, the healing power of LGBTQ plus love, and also a reflection on Sade's song, Pearls. That is all on our blog. If you have not seen that, you can go to universalrainbowfaith.org, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage for the blog, or in the search menu to the right, you'll see the blog tab, and there's many wonderful articles. And so know that we are not the living dead, that we are the living love. We have a new song. It is The Living Love, and this week we premiered that on YouTube and TikTok, and it's an original meditative anthem that reclaims our joy, our dignity, and our sacred resistance. And so know that a spiritual response to consumption culture and zombie consciousness, that this anthem is a call to reclaim our community, our joy, and our sacred embodiment. And I invite you to listen to that and all of our music on our Sacred Music playlist. Please continue to support our ministry with your tithes and donations at universalrainbowfaith.org. There's a donate tab on the homepage and also under tithes and donations on the upper right-hand corner. We have two options on our website. One is through Tithely and the other is directly through our site, and we thank you for that. We did hear already our weekly reading from the Nature of Miracles, pages 327 to 333 is an opening before our talk. And we are still honoring this month a saint of the month, Marcia P. Johnson, the revolutionary of love. All month long, we continue honoring Marcia for her bravery, truth, and fierce compassion. So share your own acts of revolutionary love on social media this month with our hashtags below, and keep her spirit alive in your heart and your actions. And you can use hashtags such as Universal Rainbow Faith, URF Church, Awaken with Love, Living Not Devouring, and LGBTQ Spirituality. We invite you to get involved and share the love. Post your live streams and tag us and follow us. We invite you to sign up and follow us on YouTube so you can get a notification every week. Also, you can follow our page and like us on Facebook, on TikTok, Instagram, on all of our social pages. We thank you for helping get the word out. Okay. And now we look at our message. But before we do that, let us take a look here. I'll go back to our program. We do have our time for our children's message. And our message tonight is for all of our youth and children and young people and young adults in the LGBTQ plus community and allies and all of those parents and families. We honor our children who are becoming more self-aware at whatever age that may be, and we love them and we encourage them to be just who they are and not who we wish them to be, and to keep from biting them with a vengeance and a consciousness that forces them to be something that they're not. We don't want to spread that kind of virus to our children and to our youth. And so to our children watching and viewing, we say that some stories show monsters who bite, but we say we don't bite, we invite. We invite friends into kindness circles. And you're being invited all now and called into creating these precious and sacred circles of kindness within your own homes, with your schools, your communities, no matter what may be happening on the outside, as we see circles of violence and circles of harm and circles of others trying to oppress and to force their ideologies and to force their spiritual beliefs onto you and onto your family and onto others we have our own spirituality and way of believing and being and connecting, that we will continue to invite all of our friends and family into beautiful kindness circles. And that's what we're being called to do at this very moment. That's what we're doing tonight between YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and here in Las Vegas on this live stream. Isn't that a circle of kindness yet? With every single weekly broadcast, we are creating a kindness circle that is ever growing and reaching further and further out into all of the World Wide Web and all of the world, into communities, as this broadcast reaches many places. And we know that it is going just where it is needed to go. And so our affirmation, I am special, I am strong, I am seen, I am sacred, just as I am. And for our children and our youth and teens, our affirmation once again, I am special, I am strong, I am seen. I am sacred just as I am, and so it is. Amen. And you are. And so as we look at our message this evening, awakening from the hunger and a community that feeds, not devours. In zombie movies, the living dead eat brains, as we talked about earlier, and that famous line, to ease the pain of being dead. And the brain represents consciousness, memories, identities, the very essence of our humanity. So to devour it is to consume someone's whole being. Yet even as zombies feast, they never find life. Their decay continues. They don't somehow magically reanimate and are healed and whole once again. And isn't that a mirror for our world today? Don't we consume each other's consciousness, not flesh, but through endless media streams, through exploitation of creativity and labor, through draining attention, energy, and identity? And the media streams that I'm talking about are the kind that devour and not feed. Tonight, here in this place and in this sacred digital space and community, we are attempting to, and we have the goal to feed, to spiritually feed and awaken, and not to devour. There is no hatred here. There is no unkindness here. There is no judgment here. Everyone who makes it to this special, sacred community, this kindness circle this evening and beyond, is being fed with positivity and love and self-affirmation, and affirmation that the divine and God loves you just as you are. And anything outside of that kindness circle that does not feed and give that, it is an ominous devouring of identities and lives. And that's not what we're doing. So zombies eat brains, as we know from horror movies, to ease the pain of being dead. But humans, we consume others to ease the pain of being alive, as we consume identities and peace and love and acceptance, to take them and to consume them into being this undead, this unliving creature with no consciousness and no connection to the divine and no way to become happy, healed, and whole once again. Because we know that when someone is bitten, that's it. That's the end for them. So we ask the question tonight. I ask you, who are the zombies? Are you the zombie? And who are the fleeing? Who are those who are fleeing right now from that? So the zombies are systems, ideologies, and powers that consume lives to sustain themselves. It is greed, it is oppression, it is disinformation, it is hatred, and it is violence. All things that take us away from spiritual awakening and spiritual awareness and spiritual experience. And then we have those who are fleeing. These are the vulnerable, the marginalized, the queer and trans siblings, the poor, the refugee, and those who are resisting being bitten by inhumanity. And so the question comes, who is right and who is wrong? And who will win in this drama, just like we see in the movies? Right is whatever protects life. It is dignity, it is freedom. And wrong is whatever consumes and devours and dehumanizes. And I don't think we have to look very far to see, if we look around on social media, on the news, all, not only in our country, but all around the world, within families, within governments, within different systems. It's not hard to see what and who is dehumanizing and what or who is the inhumanity. And so in this long arc of history, it is love that wins, but only when we practice it together. So we are being called to practice love, and a love that feeds this world. We are fed with love, not hatred. Hatred destroys. Prejudice destroys. Ignorance and bigotry destroys. And so who are you? Who are you in this world and in this drama? Are you the zombie? Are you the fleeing? Or are you the one who comes to give with love and to help heal what needs to be healed in this world? What is the cure for this hunger? We cannot rid the world of zombies by becoming them, and we cannot heal our pain by devouring others. So if you're doing that, just stop. And the cure, there is a cure. The cure is awakening. Awakening to our true purpose and identity, awakening to the sacredness within ourselves and others. Do you want to awaken to your true purpose and identity? Do you want to awaken to the sacredness that's within yourself and others? We have 3 practices of a non-consuming community as we are working towards that. And number 1 is presence over predation. So we cannot be mindful rather than exploitative. And then we have repair and credit, ending extraction and practicing reciprocity and justice. And third, we have circles of care, building networks of protection like we're doing here tonight, giving mutual aid and also love. And we affirm to ourselves that we are not the living dead, that we are the living love, that we don't eat each other's consciousness, but yet we raise it. And a song came to me when I was thinking about this, and I thought about Sade's song Pearls, and how she talked about it was the mother, and that she wished she could be that brave, and that she was getting these pearls for her little girl and walking in the sun that was so hot and beating down on her. And yet she kept going. And so this tells the story of a woman's silent suffering, of her tears falling like pearls and her whispered cry for help. And at one point, Sade sings, "I would like to be that brave." That line speaks to this very moment that we are in our country and in our world, and with LGBTQ plus people, that we're fighting to exist, to just exist. Refugees are fleeing from persecution. Families are trapped in cycles of hunger and oppression. Their stories are pearls. They're sacred, they're precious, and they're too often overlooked. And it is community that gives us courage to be that brave community that we are creating here together. Alone, you and me alone, the suffering is unbearable. But together, we transform tears into testimony. We transform despair into determination. And I invite you to listen to that song and take it deeply within yourself. And let it be a meditation this week, Sade Pearls. And when you hear it, let it remind you that where the world consumes, that we will lift up. And where others cry, that, and they cry out, that I would like to be that brave, we'll answer, together we are that brave. And so our closing blessing is to know that we are not called to be consumers of one another, my friends, but caretakers of one another. May your mind remain unbitten, and your heart unbroken, and your spirit unwavering in love. So go forth not as the living dead this week, but as the living love. And go in peace, go in power, and go in community. And let us take that in our meditation from hunger to halo. As you relax into the space that you are in, and just take a deep breath in and exhale, and take another deep breath in and exhale. Feel that breath enter your body like light as you breathe in, and as you exhale slowly, let go of any heaviness, any residue of fear, judgment, or stress. And now imagine a soft golden halo of light forming above your head. This light represents your sacred consciousness, whole, unbitten, undevoured. It belongs to no one else, cannot be taken. It is yours. It is divine. And affirm gently to yourself as you whisper, I feed, I don't feed on. I awaken, I don't abandon. And now visualize others joining you in a circle of light. Friends, strangers, ancestors, and saints. Each one crowned with their own beautiful golden, glowing halo. You are part of a living web, not zombies in isolation, but awakened ones in communion. And as we place our hand on our heart, feel its warmth, its courage, its ache, and its beauty. Feel its aliveness, its beating. And now think of someone vulnerable today, a refugee, a child, a trans sibling, an LGBTQ soul, a weary soul, and send them this warmth, this halo, this love. And let us just take a moment to send this beautiful healing energy to those who need it right now. And as we inhale, I am sacred, and exhale, we are sacred, and inhale, I am sacred, and exhale, we are sacred. Let that be your medicine in a world hungry for truth. And let us just sit in silence for a few final breaths before gently opening our eyes. And feel yourself coming back to this space and time, wiggling your toes, stretching and moving in your seat or where you are right now. As we take in all that we need, and we are letting this beautiful affirmation be the rhythm that carries us forward. And next we have our song of the week, The Living Love. And as we take in all that we have from our message, the opening line is, in a world that tries to take, we rise and choose to give, not to bite or break apart, but to help each soul to live. And let us take that in our song today.
drains and devours, where silence swallows sacred hours. We rise in truth, we claim our name. We light the dark, we feed the flame. We are not the living dead, we are the living love instead. We don't consume, we lift, we rise, with open hearts and open eyes. Where zombies hunger for control, we hold the light, we keep the soul. In chosen family, hand in hand, we build the world where love can stand. We are not the living dead, we are the living love instead. We don't consume, we lift, we rise, with open hearts and open eyes. No more fighting, no more blame. We are sacred, not ashamed. In this circle we are free, awakened in community. We are not the living dead, we are the living love instead. We don't consume, we lift, we rise, together brave with sacred eyes.
That was just beautiful. I love that. I hope you enjoyed that song. And that's on our Sacred Music playlist. We are creating new, beautiful AI music every week. And we appreciate your support, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Maybe you really just enjoy our music ministry and want to listen to all of our beautiful music tailored for each of our services. So do that, or maybe you would like to tune in and listen to our meditations, which we're slowly releasing throughout the weeks and months of all of our services, just that 3 to 4 minute meditation. If you need that as a little midweek reset, or at any time, tune into our YouTube and also our TikTok to get those meditations. I've been telling friends and some these past weeks and these past months, some of the way I've been feeling about, what's been going on with the LGBTQ community. And I said, well, I truly feel that if they could just shove us into ovens, they would, and that it is a genocide. And that may sound so extreme, but it's really not. We are seeing really forced conversions. And so I say to you who are out there, what if all the LGBTQ plus people were no longer here? And what if our very existence was made completely and totally illegal and also punishable by death? Aren't we seeing that in the world already? Why do we believe it wouldn't happen here in the United States? And I don't know to what degree or to what end and what will happen to us all in the future. But we are seeing a rolling out of forced detransitioning. And there is nothing to detransition to. There's such misinformation about who and what transgender people are. Transgender people are real. Transgender children are real. People actually are born into the world and at some point understand and know who they are. There's something deep within. It is not from some being a victim of some environment or some sinfulness or some demonic possession. It has nothing to do with any of that. None of that is true. But what is true is there is a human heart, and there is a consciousness, and there is a soul waiting to emerge and to be in this world as it came to be. And unfortunately, there is much struggle and much suffering that so many have to go through just to be who they are. Imagine that. Imagine the clothes you wish to wear, the face you wish to present to the world, whether you wear makeup or don't, or whether you have long hair or short hair, whether you appear more masculine or feminine, or as a woman or as a man, or somewhere in between. The amount of violence against people just being. And so that is the real zombie apocalypse, if there ever was one, that we are fighting against. It is the unawakened soul. It is those who are reaching out and lashing out with anger and violence. And so we do have to protect ourselves. And that's why the Universal Rainbow Faith is here. And we did miss our mission statement earlier, so let's do that before we go on. Our mission statement. Universal Rainbow Faith is a sacred spiritual home where LGBTQ, IA+ people and allies are fully affirmed, celebrated, and protected. We believe that gender, love, and identity are divine expressions of the Creator. Our mission is to uplift, heal, and empower individuals through spiritual truth, radical inclusion, and sacred community. Activating the rainbow light of love to affirm the sacredness of every person, especially those long denied, excluded, or erased. We exist to heal spiritual trauma, celebrate LGBTQ IA+ divinity, and restore dignity to all people across body, mind, and spirit. And we affirm the activating presence of sacred power within us. We are the living light of transformation, resilience, and divine justice. Together we rise with love and purpose. And now is our time for tithes and offerings. And just know that your love supports our sacred mission. You can give at universalrainbowfaith.org. And our affirmation: I give with love, I receive with joy, and I am blessed. And make sure you stick around for our post-service Q&A reflections on Meet the Minister. Just a moment, we do have to confirm our TikTok. I think when we get to, I think it's the hour mark, we have to make sure that we let them know we are still here. Let me try once again. I have to move a little puzzle piece into the screen. Okay, there we go. So now we can keep going on there. All right, so that is where we're at. I hope you enjoyed today's service. We did go over a little bit because we had a very special opening and a longer reading from the Nature of Miracles that I really feel was very poignant. And getting back to the genocide and what I've been seeing, I will say this, that it's the worst that I've seen in my entire lifetime. And so we are here to protect our LGBTQ IA+ community. There are letters online that you can get by becoming a member. You can also receive your letter of religious exemption. And we're here to protect our children, our teens, our young adults, and workers in public spaces and workplaces with your letters, and know that that is there to help protect you from religious persecution of others and discrimination, exercising your religious freedom, however you choose to present your gender, your identity, your name, your expression. That those are all sacred and holy rights within the Universal Rainbow Faith. And there are many, many other exemptions that you can claim by becoming a member. So please go online, become a member, get your certificate. Everything is automated, and that you can become a member and start receiving all of the protections and services that we offer. And let us just take that out in our closing song this evening. Join in if you like for our original anthem of embracing togetherness. In every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall in the rainbow's embrace. will never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dreams, a tapestry of love woven at the seams. With every hue our voice is strong, together as one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above, in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing, a symphony of hope and unity brings. With every color, let our blood soar, together as one, forevermore. And with every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining us for our service this evening. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you this week. If you are enjoying what we're doing and loving what we're doing, please subscribe, like, share, follow, and get this message out to a greater and wider audience so that those who are suffering and who are in need and who are feeling hopeless and alone and lost and afraid can receive this broadcast of hope and strength and protection. So many in our country and in the world need it right now, and not just in the LGBTQ community. We're here for everybody. We are here for all of those in need of spiritual support during this time that we're living in. So thank you so much, and stick around for a few minutes of meet and greet with any questions you may have. You can send them in the chats, and I will try to do my best to answer any questions for you this evening and spend a few minutes with you. Thank you. And at this time, we're going to change the orientation of our Facebook. So give us just a moment here so that we can do that. Okay, for those who are tuning in on Facebook, so I can see you. Okay, and let's see here. Let's change that. Ah, there we go. Wonderful. Okay. So hello, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this time with us this evening. Let's see if we can just fix this a little bit. The screen is just a bit crooked. Okay, there we go. All right. Hello, Kelly. I see you on Facebook there, and hello, Sally. I hope you enjoyed my little soapbox. Welcome to my soapbox. That's what I call it. And hello on TikTok. Thank you for joining this evening. Please like and share and subscribe. I was looking at some of our TikTok views, and a lot of people just tune in. They're like there for a minute and then they go. We really do need to stick together. And I don't know about you, but for me, these past months have literally felt like running from some kind of zombie apocalypse in a way. If you look at the blog, our new blog post about community that feeds and not devours, that was posted this week, you'll see there's an image of these two zombies, and they're wearing red hats. Of course, not political at all, right? They're wearing these red hats, and they're eating, they're devouring a rainbow flag. And that's truly what it feels like. I think that particular image is not only true for myself, but it's the worst that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Now, I was only born in 1975, and I have friends that tell me how it was during those years and before that time, and how terrible it was for them as well. And we're seeing such a destruction of community and such an attack on hope and identities. So that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I'll continue to show up. I'll continue to be here. I don't know what the future is and what the future holds for the Universal Rainbow Faith, but this little soapbox continues to chug along. This little train is moving along, and not easy in the times that we're living. It's truly sad to see what's happening in our country and in our world. And what are we going to do about a thing like that? We can have hope, we can have faith, we can pray, we can meditate, and we can fight to exist and to thrive and to be who we are and overcome all obstacles and challenge, to not let this world completely overtake us in our community. However that will look and however that will be, I call it a revolution. And that's certainly what we're seeing right now. We are living in a revolution of consciousness, a revolution of bringing love to the forefront of all of our affairs, of combating these kind of energy vampires, these kind of zombies that are out there that are trying to devour and to take away and to erase not only our community, but many communities, everything not like them. And we must not let that happen. We must survive and thrive, and we must overcome these obstacles, or there will not be a future. So I'm here and I'm dedicated to this work and to spreading these messages of hope and love and sacred spirituality and awakening for the transgender community and for all of the LGBTQ community, to show that we are needed and valued in this world and in this particular time and space in which we find ourselves, this particular period of history that we're living in. So feel free to reach out. Go to universalrainbowfaith.org, and please subscribe, like, share, follow, create a free account, and you can create an online account. And then you can also become a member. There is a membership process online. There's a small donation as well that helps to pay for the hosting of the site and all that's being done for these weekly broadcasts also to continue. So thank you, and please pick up a copy of The Nature of Miracles. I'm working really hard to develop some income from my writing and from my music. And with that, I need your help to do that. I'm really praying and affirming and hoping to see my book on a bestseller list. I think it's very poignant for this time in which we are living. And I think it's necessary and needed right now to bring hope and inspiration. And so it is on Amazon, The Nature of Miracles. And with that additional income, I will continue to use that to help our community and to continue to grow the Universal Rainbow Faith in all the ways that it can and should be and will be. Many other philanthropic projects as well, and including a transgender women's recovery ranch, a beautiful new cabaret here in Las Vegas. That will require investors and people to come together. So I'm just dropping, putting a little seed and planting that seed of that inspiration, that dream. And that's just a few things that are in the works. So if we can do this together, and you out there in the TikTok universe and in the YouTube universe and in the Facebook and social media universe, can see it in your hearts to help this author and founder of the Universal Rainbow Faith to get my book out there, that would mean the world. I was really hoping to maybe be picked up by one of the social media influencers, or even have a celebrity endorsement at some point. I don't think that it's outside the realm of possibility. All is within the realm of possibility if we believe and have faith. And in that, I have to make sure that I also am striving towards the principles which we talk about here, the spiritual principles that, I must continue to have hope and faith and courage, to bring unconditional love to the forefront of all of my work and all of my affairs, and not be the zombies that we talked about today, and devouring other people's consciousness, not attacking and with any kind of hatred or anger or prejudice or bigotry, because that's what's on the other side. And it is such a lot of work to live in authenticity, to strive for humility, and to be of service without arrogance, without an pridefulness. And those are big orders. And I think all in our community are being called to action in that way, that we are combating this hatred that we see with love, and that we are combating fears that are overwhelming and overtaking our community and many others with courage and faith that is unshakable. And that has to come from deep within as we pull from our vast resources. And we pray for that to be our guiding light and guiding force. So I thank you. I hope you enjoyed this minister meet and greet. Thank you on TikTok. Remember, please, the nature of miracles. And I hope that you pick up your copy as an ebook, a hardcover, or paperback. I really would like to see that book moving and also being helpful not only to our community, but those everywhere who need hope and inspiration, who are seeking a spiritual experience, who are seeking a spiritual awakening. You can follow me along in my process and my journey as an example. And I thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Namaste. Bless you. I love you, each and every one of you. And I thank you for joining in this service. See you next week.